All right, y'all, welcome. We have the beautiful Kings and Queens Palace. Listen, I pulled up to Atlanta. Y'all, guess who said yes to the dress? Guess who said yes to the palace?
I did.
Cynthia, the beautiful.
Oh,
God,
thank you.
y'all, she looked good in person.
Thank you.
Cynthia is fine and beautiful.
Thank you.
The
So
one
are
and
you.
only Cynthia Bailey.
Well,
Cynthia.
thank you. Thank you for that introduction. And thank you for having
Yes.
me, Queen.
Yes, listen. Thank you for saying yes. I cannot believe I'm sitting in front of you, and I don't even want to put you like in this pipeline of saying the Real Housewives of Atlanta because I think there is something that's just so dynamic about you that's way bigger than that,
Well, I
and I want
appreciate
to
that.
talk about that.
Well, let's talk about it. And
Yes.
I received that because I've always, I came to the Housewives more than a housewife, and I always felt like when I was ready to leave, I would be more than a housewife. So there's levels. There's a lot to Cynthia
How
Bailey.
have you maintained? You have such a level of grace and sophistication that cannot be duplicated, as we can see on screen. How do you maintain your stability in the middle of chaos as it relates to housewives or anything else that's going on in your life?
I think for me, it's about just being my authentic self. I don't change it up for circumstances. I don't change it up for the camera. I just feel like if I'm just true to who I am, whether I'm the most entertaining, whether I'm the least entertaining, like whatever my truth is how I show up. Because at the end of the day, I feel like all I can do is be me. I don't have the biggest personality on the show. I am a personality, but I'm not the biggest personality. I'm never going to be the villain. That's just not my spirit. I'm never going to do things just for television. That's just not who I am. And I just allow God to just lead my steps and not worry about how I fit in to the spaces that He puts me in. If I'm in the space, then by the grace of God, I'm there. So I don't worry about forcing the situation. So I'm just me. Take it or leave it. I'm just
And
Cynthia
she
Bailey.
is. You are. Because let me tell you something. I'm about real life experiences. A little bit before we started to record,
Yes.
we discovered we are water signs.
We are water signs.
Yes. And you were sharing that you really value intimate moments.
I do.
Tell us a little bit about that because I want to say
Okay.
something about that.
Okay. All right. So you're a Scorpio,
Mm-hmm.
and my daughter Noelle is a Scorpio.
Oh.
I'm actually on the cusp of Aquarius, and Pisces. But I just feel like I am really, really a true Pisces at the end of the day. But either way, I end Aquarius and I start Pisces. So, intimate spaces. I don't know if it's because of me being on TV, the fame that has come with that. I don't know what it is, or maybe it's even age at this point, because you do know I am a woman of a certain age, which I proudly acknowledge very, very much, because I do feel like representation matters.
It does.
And, for me, when I turned 50, that was a huge milestone. So I'm always like 50, 50, 50. By the grace of God, so many people don't even get to see 50. So it's a luxury to actually get old, to get older.
It is. I have to
Yes.
agree.
And what going back to intimate spaces, I have a birthday coming up, and I really can't even decide if I want to have a party, or just do a dinner with my boyfriend, or just do dinner with my daughter, or do dinner with my daughter and my boyfriend, or just, I don't know what I want to do. But we were talking about concerts. I'm going to Vegas this weekend
And big crowds and everything.
to a Janet Jackson concert. And I'm going because I want to hang out with my friends, but I'm not a big concert person. I don't like crowds. And again, I don't know if I'm just older, I just aged out, or if it's like, people recognize me a lot more. So it's not like you can just be in those spaces and no one like notices you or whatever. I don't know. I just kind of prefer more intimate spaces now. And I'm almost a little socially awkward. Like, I really get a little like uncomfortable if I'm like in a big space, and if there's any extra attention on me. I kind of like to go into places and just kind of find myself a little table and sit down. I don't want to come in and draw a lot of attention. I know that's weird for somebody that's
I don't think so
on
though.
TV or whatever. Now, if I'm being paid to be there, because I do a lot of, keynote speaking, I love women empowerment. So when the attention is supposed to be on me, then I'm completely fine with it.
Is it lights, camera, action?
I'm like, bring the attention. Where's the stage? Where's the microphone?
Absolutely.
But if I'm just in a space where, if I'm coming to your birthday party and it's your group of friends and your family,
manifest.
I don't, okay, then I don't really, it makes me uncomfortable if I get the attention when it's your time.
I got you.
You know what I'm saying? When it's your time to shine. I don't like that. But anyway, yeah, smaller spaces, not so much big crowds.
Because you were very, a lot of times when people, I prefer, let me not say people, I prefer to have at least one touch point when I'm going to do an interview. I don't like doing interviews that much. It has to be like this, I don't know, this energetic thing that draws me to somebody.
Yep.
Okay, preach.
Okay.
I'm going to let you cook.
All right, I'm going to speak on that.
I'm going to let you cook.
See, we already have a lot in common. Interviews. Not my favorite to do. I think the climate that we live in right now has made it really hard for people to just be honest in interviews. I feel like the cancel culture has just changed everything, and people just, are afraid to really say how they feel about things because there's so many communities to go against you. If you say, "Oh, well, I don't like drinking milk," and then the milk community is like, well, "What do you have against milk?" And da 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 da. So it just ends up being, for me, just not worth doing a lot of different interviews. I don't really love a lot of, even on social media, I really use it for business. I put myself out there, acknowledge a few comments, and then I just pretty much get off. I don't really engage a lot. I don't insert myself in other people's business on social media. I'm not interested in that. That's not a fun space for me. I just really like the creative space. I like to watch, cooking videos, pictures of dogs, cats, like the fun stuff. For me, it's a great way to just kind of disconnect and decompress. And I just like to see, I like to see positivity on social media.
Especially amongst Black women.
Absolutely.
Come on.
Absolutely.
Yeah.
So, this interview, your good friend Melody, who I think is phenomenal.
Yes, she
By
is.
the way, she connected us. And when I tell you I had a million things going on, and I actually have a list of podcasts that I want to do because I'm in the podcast space as well.
And I want to talk about that in just a few seconds.
Yes, humble brag.
Yes,
we have to talk
yes.
about humble brag. But for whatever reason, we just had such a great conversation, and we talked about a million things. But when she spoke about you, she just really made me feel like I just really needed to do this podcast with you. She really made me feel like I needed to meet you, and we needed to sit down and just energetically, there was something that this just needed to happen. And like I said, I'm an energy person, so I try not to question things so much now. I was like, you know what? I wasn't expecting this call from her. We talked about a million things. You came up. She talked about your podcast. I was like, you know what? Let's schedule it and let's do it. So here I am. And a lot of times I find when I just kind of go in the moment sometimes, especially if it feels good spiritually, and I'm a very spiritual person, I make the time. Because sometimes you never know where God's going to show up. And you never know what you need until you get it. Because I think I know what I need. But then I'll be in a situation where I'm like, well, I didn't even know I needed that from that person. I didn't know I needed to bump into that person and to get those nuggets from that person. So
I just want to say this. I don't think you were on my radar, and I don't think I was on your radar.
No, not at all.
Something you said about these different podcasts, how people show up a lot of times.
Yes.
And you have to sit back and say, are they really getting a chance to be authentic and genuine?
Yes.
One thing about me, even though I have the opportunity to have a podcast, I'm a woman that just likes talking to other women.
Yes.
And if I cannot bring that essence and that energy to a conversation, I don't want it.
I know. I don't want it either.
Want it.
That's why I like you already.
Listen, I don't want it. I don't
love
care
me
who
some
it
women.
is. Me too.
I do. And I love women that make things happen. I love women that get it right. I love women that get it wrong. I love women that don't give up. I love women that do the best that they can do. And I love women that support other women.
Speaking of supporting other women, I want to talk about a brand deal that you've just secured in January 2025. Yes. And I don't know if you know, but Cynthia has a new collaboration with Weight Watchers.
I do.
And when we talk about supporting other women,
yes,
Weight Watchers is a huge deal. To me, it was introduced to the Black community by way of Oprah. And I kind of feel like you have been handed the torch, because last year she was able to close out her partnership with them. And now we have you. Tell us more about that.
Yes. Well, I hope that I have the success that Oprah had on her weight journey. I remember feeling like, when she was going through that, it was just fun to really see, Oprah, someone that I admire. And, I feel like people don't realize, like, the different issues that we as women struggle with. And that's something that she has struggled with for many years. So for her to just do something about it and decide to take power over what she wanted.
Yeah.
And how she wanted to feel and how she wanted to look. It was, it's just amazing. It's amazing. And as far as I'm concerned, for me, getting this opportunity to work with Weight Watchers is great for me at this time in my life. I've never actually struggled with weight or, really went up and down with my weight until I started menopause. And then everything started to change. I modeled for many, many years.
Yeah.
I was always like one of those people that could, I was just pretty much I was like a size 6 forever. I was size 4 forever. When I was modeling, I was like a size 8 forever.
Yeah.
And then it changed. And that's okay. But what's not okay is for me not to feel the way I want to feel and look the way that I want to look. And just not have any control over that part of my life. And I have no interest in being skinny. Like I've been skinny my whole life. I know what that is. I know what that feels like. That's not where I'm at this chapter in my life. I want to feel good. I want to feel healthy. I want to get back into my clothes. I don't want to continue to gain more weight.
Gotcha.
I just want to go back.
That's very
where
important.
I was at.
Yeah.
Like, I'm very comfortable as a size 10. If I could just be a fit workout 10, I am good. I love my curves. I love my booty. I love my titties. I like
Speaking
all
of
of those
booty,
things.
because I remember when you did that runway. You remember?
Oh, yeah. And this is good old real booty, too.
I was like, hold up. Wait a minute.
Listen.
Come on, 50
That
Cent.
booty's been there the whole time. I just, I've been able to hide it from you guys. Because I don't really post a lot of body stuff on social media. I'll throw a thirst trap out there from time to time. Just, because sometimes, like Kendrick Lamar says, sometimes you got to just pop out on them. You know what I'm saying? And,
Cynthia, you are making me
true.
laugh.
That's true. Did he lie? He did not lie. Sometimes you got to just, let people know. Like, I'm still over here, especially as you get older, because we live in a society now where people think age is not such a beautiful blessing. Like they look at like getting older, like, oh, you're an auntie now, you're done. I love being that woman to mentor and bring in the younger people behind me with some of the doors that I've opened, and I've always been grateful for the women that have opened doors for me. So for me, being the age that I am, owning it, we're talking about off camera, how representation is so important.
It is so important.
I am so grateful to even see, what am I now, 57? About to be 58.
No way.
Yeah.
No way.
Yeah.
Listen, I see her in person, and you age, I'm not going to even say, you look good.
Thank you.
You look phenomenal. And
Thank
I'm not
you.
saying that because I'm sitting here in front of you. I would just skip right on over it if it were not true.
I travel a lot for work, so I'm
Mhm.
always in the airport all the
Mhm.
time. And people say to me all the time, "Oh my God, you look so much better in person."
Mhm.
And a lot of my castmates get that, but that's such a compliment. I don't know what we look like on TV because I thought we look pretty good on TV, but they're like, "No, you look way better in person." And I think it's like the energy. I'm always on a quest for peace. I think that shows up what you see as a woman who is in control. But just going back, but let me just close out Weight Watchers. Speaking
Okay.
of control, I needed the control back.
Okay.
I wanted to get back in my clothes. I wanted to take control over take control over my relationship with food. I'm a foodie. I love to
I
eat.
am too.
I didn't want to stop eating. I didn't want to, take anything that was going to take food out of the equation for me.
Mm.
I enjoy a good meal. I enjoy dessert. I just enjoy all of it. So what Weight Watchers has taught me is how to just change my relationship with food. I'm able to eat whatever I want to eat. It's all about portion control. So for me, a half of a turkey burger is better than no turkey burger for me.
I agree.
Let me say it loud for the people in the back. A half of a turkey burger with all the works and 10 sweet potato fries is better than none.
I like the fact that you said I did not want to end my relationship with food.
No.
I wanted something that was going to work for me.
Absolutely.
Can you talk a little bit more, just in case you have a couple of people that are
Yes.
tuned in that are saying or thinking, wait a minute,
Yes.
how can I be a part of Weight Watchers
Mhm.
and make this work for me and me be able to do the same thing you did, still have a healthy relationship with food, still get, like you said, a little bit is better than
a
none.
little bit is
What would
better
you
than
say?
none. I would say to that person, don't give up. Okay, I would say to that person, and you guys can edit this part. I would say to that person, once you figure out why you want to take control of that part of your life, because everyone has different reasons. Mine was I just really wanted to get back in my clothes and feel better, because I was just getting to a point where I was not at a weight that I was comfortable at. I had nothing to do with nobody else. I walk in these streets and everybody think I'm fine as one, but I did not feel comfortable. And again, for me, it was not about being skinny. It was really about being comfortable and taking that control. So I would say to that person, understand what you want from this life change, because for me, it is a life change. I go to restaurants. I look at everything differently. Everything to me is points. I'm like, okay, if I have, I stopped drinking alcohol. Because that was a lot. Well, first of all, that was
Damn.
I know. but wait a minute. Wait a minute.
Damn.
Oh, let me clean it up. Okay, I stopped drinking. Like, my go-to was like a margarita. I am a social drinker.
Okay.
I don't drink at home, but when I'm out, my favorite thing is to order a margarita, and I would always at least get 2, for sure.
How many points is that?
That's a lot of points.
Okay.
Like right now, what I'm set up for 23 points a day.
Okay.
And then I can go to 28 if I just have to. But I
Okay.
try to stay in the 23. Girl, a margarita's almost, shoot, that's a good 16, 17. I'm like, well, I ain't gonna be able to eat nothing if I have margaritas.
I gotcha. Yeah.
So I look at my points like money. Like, I can't afford to spend it all, the top portion of the day. Like, you just gave me this
That's
beautiful charcuterie board.
Yes,
and
I
it was
did.
under this, it had this yummy bread with it. Well, I ate all the prosciutto, all the salmon, and all the mozzarella and tomatoes off.
Mm-hmm.
But I did not eat the bread. And I didn't even miss the bread. And normally, and this is how you relearn and retrain yourself, or relearn and train yourself to look at food differently. When I looked at the charcuterie board, I saw all the yummy stuff on top of the bread. I didn't even see the bread, and I didn't even miss the bread. So it's just looking at food differently and still being able to enjoy it in a different way. So yeah, just know why you want to do it. And then I think once you have the answer to that, then I think you're able to complete your goal of, getting the control back.
You look so good. And her spirit is intact, y'all. And I say that, I really do. And Cynthia, I can only imagine that the boys are beating down your door. Listen.
Girl.
Listen, you got the spirit, you got the mind, you got the body,
Thank you.
You have the spirit.
Thank you.
Yeah, you do. And how do you handle that? Because are you based here in Atlanta?
I'm pretty much Atlanta's home.
Okay.
Lake Bailey is not far from
You still
here.
have Lake Bailey?
I do.
It's beautiful.
Oh, that's my piece. Like,
now, listen.
that's the one thing I did for me.
That lake is beautiful.
That's the first time I bought something for Cynthia. It wasn't, had nothing to do with like, I'm going to do this because because of my mom or because of my man, because of my husband, because of Noel. I was like, you know what? After all these years, I don't think I've ever just did something for me. And Lake Bailey is for me. And yes, I do have a Lake Bailey.
It is absolutely gorgeous. I wish they would have shown it more. And that was probably about 7 years ago.
Yes.
Am I tracking?
You are.
About
you
7
are good.
years
I think
ago.
it was about 7 years ago. But you will see it on this season 16 of The Real Housewives of Atlanta. I actually come back as an official friend, and I can try to explain what that means. But I do a Bailey Q at Lake Bailey. So when you tune in, because now you got to watch it.
Because you've done a Bailey Q before.
Oh, yeah, those Bailey Qs. They're designed to be a little messy, but they also are designed to just have conversations and try to get to the other side of just resolution.
Gotcha.
It doesn't always work out, honey. But we have a good old time trying to get there.
How did you find the property? And if you were giving advice to women that are tuned in, women like yourself that are saying, you know what, I'm going for it. I've raised my child. I've been married. I'm living. I have the money.
Twice. Been married twice.
You know what? Now that you said it.
Yeah.
Did you get your money from Peter?
Stop it. Yes, Peter and I are good.
You got your money.
We are good.
Ooh,
we
I
are
wouldn't
good.
worry about nothing else.
I wish him well.
But you got your money.
God bless him and everything that comes with him. 1,000%. We're good.
How does a woman that's prepared to purchase find a property like that? How did you find Lake Bailey?
You know what? It actually found me. We were going, Noel and I went out with the realtor, and she had a list of properties. And the Lake Bailey property, which I named, which of course, is not called Lake Bailey, girl. That's me just being extra to name them people's lake, child. That wasn't on the list. I think she initially wanted to show me, but I think, it's been a while. I feel like she maybe said that, it wasn't available to be shown or whatever. Okay. And then out of nowhere, or she said, oh, I have another one that just popped up. And at that point, I was already kind of like, okay, I've seen enough today. But something said, okay, let's go see this place. And I think we had seen maybe a couple of other ones at that time. And they were nice, beautiful homes. But when we pulled up to Lake Bailey, from the moment I saw the house, like, you guys can't really tell from TV, but you could literally drive by my house all day and not even realize there's a house because it goes down. It's like a long driveway. So it's kind of like tucked away a little bit, which
that's a good thing.
Privacy is hugely important for me at this point in my life. I like my privacy. So anyway, and then this beautiful lake, and I don't even remember her saying, "Oh, this house is on the lake." Like, that wasn't even like something I was even focused on, because in my mind I thought if she had, I would have been like, "Well, that's gonna probably be out of my budget." And anyway, so girl, we go, and from the moment we pulled up, Noel and I was like, "Oh my God," and I felt a peace there that I didn't feel in the other places, and it just felt right. And we weren't even supposed to see that one that day, or I wasn't interested, or we were running out of time. I don't know, but we ended up there, and I walked in, and I literally walked it. As soon as I walked through the front door, all I saw was windows and water. I didn't even go upstairs or downstairs. I said, I want to make an offer.
Wow. and you took it.
Yeah.
And it was a done
been there
deal.
Ever since. Absolutely.
Wow.
And it was easy. Like, it was no back and forth. I made a fair offer, and it happened. And I feel like, when things are aligned and when it's God-given, it's easy. Like, it just ended up like it was supposed to be. Like, that was supposed to be my house. That's where I'm supposed to live. And, it happened.
I want to talk about alignment. Girl, you pulling me in.
Am I pulling you
Listen,
in?
they say Pisces is two
Oh no, we
fish.
swimming. We in the water, baby.
We are here, girl. Like boom, boom.
We in there. I'm picking up everything you putting down.
Yes, you're talking about alignment, which is why I think you're so much bigger than reality television. And I think if people can just touch the hem of your garment and get in front of you, and you have managed to be successful,
Yes,
whether you are touching reality television or not. Yes. And I want to talk about life beyond reality because you have some amazing things that are going on. You are now in movies and acting.
I am.
Am I right?
I am.
Okay.
I am.
Beyond reality.
I am an actress. And, when I first started my acting journey, I was afraid to, even say that out loud because I have such a respect for actors and acting. Noel's dad is an actor.
Yes.
Mr. Leon Robinson.
Yes.
I'm sure you guys
Is there
remember.
a heart in the house
Okay.
tonight?
That's what I'm talking about. And just being around him and how he transforms, the way he transformed in David Ruffin was just like nothing that I've ever seen before. And before I started acting, I just didn't understand. I was like, wow, like this is like real. Like he is just really just didn't turn this thing off. And one of the things that I remember is when he played David Ruffin for the Temptations movie, he like literally became David Ruffin. He did not respond to Leon. If I was like, hey, Leon, let's go here, he would just walk right past me. And I'd be like, I'm sorry. Okay, David, do you want to go get something to eat now? Because he did not come out of character until they wrapped.
Wow.
He dressed from that era the whole time, even when he wasn't on set. Like we went somewhere, he was still dressed like he was in Temptations. So that just gave me just really a bit, just a huge respect for the craft. And I didn't want to ever, although I've had opportunities come up throughout my career, I didn't ever want acting to be like a side hustle for me. So I knew if I ever wanted to go into that lane, I would want to be serious. And it would have to be my number one. And that's what it is now. Once I walked away from Housewives.
Okay.
Acting became my focus. That's my priority. I played my first lead last year. I've done a couple little leads, but like my big lead.
Okay, tell us a little bit more about that.
Okay, Who's Cheating Who? BET Plus. You guys can still check it out. If you didn't check it out already, please check it out. I play a psychotherapist. My name is Maxine, and I work along three very talented actors, Blue Kimball, Darius McCrary, and April Jones. And when I tell you, the experience was just incredible. I had to really push myself. I had to trust myself. Wendy Raquel was our director, Tosh Mack. And she was great. It was so nice. We're talking about women, working with women, supporting women. That was her directorial debut. And Wendy Raquel is a force. That's all I can say. She's one of those people when she walks into the room, you know that she's there. Mm-hmm. And she was just so giving and excited to work with me, just very trusting that I could do the work. And trust me, when I got the part, I was like, you pray for stuff, you work hard, then you finally get it, and you're like, oh shit, am I really ready to do this?
It's a lot of work.
I'm like, I got my own trailer. Like, I'm like, this is a whole nother level. I'm like number 2 on the call sheet, or number 3 or whatever I was. I'm usually way further down the call sheet. So I'm like, okay, because for me, when I first started my acting journey, I just needed to be on the set. I just wanted to work with different directors and different actors. Mm-hmm. So I would always, tell my agents, like, I still want to do it. Like, they'd be like, well, it's not big enough. I'm like, it's big enough. I want to do it. So we collectively, that cast, we did a great job of making a great show. And for me, that was my confirmation that I'm on the right path. This is something not only am I doing, but I can do this, and I think I can do it really well. And I'm excited to see what 2025 brings for me. I'm excited. I want to challenge myself and push myself to do more with acting, and it feels good. It's scary. Yeah. Like, I don't want to make it seem like it's easy, because it's not. I definitely have a great coach And, I go for a lot of different roles. I've heard no's and yeses. But I think one of the things that anyone out there that's listening who is interested in the entertainment industry, you have to be able to just stay in it, stay focused, keep going, because it's super competitive.
I
And
can only
sometimes it's not
imagine.
even about me not being talented enough or um, being right for the part. Sometimes it just may even come down to they just may want to work with another actress who's just been doing it longer or
Yeah.
whatever it is. Sometimes it's not even about you.
Yeah.
And once I learned that no matter how much I killed an audition, if it's not for me, I'm just not going to get it. You heard what I said there?
Let that marinate.
Let
That's
that soak
good.
up,
Yes.
soak up the room a little bit. If it's not for me, no matter how great I do, no matter how great I am, if it's not for me, it is not mine to get. And if it is mine to get, no matter who else is up for it, they're not going to get it because it's mine. And that's good.
You cooking.
Yeah.
I'm going to let you cook. Listen, I'm going to let you cook because this is such a real ass conversation that you have to let it evolve.
Yeah.
And
you have to trust the process.
yes.
And you have to trust God. You really do. And you can't be wishy-washy about it or, insecure about it. If you know what you want, you have to be prepared to take that journey with everything that comes with it to get there.
I think that's a part of your success because you said you have to trust God. And
Yes.
do you feel like that's a huge part that's missing as you begin to navigate these different spaces? You have the realm of reality. You have the realm of Hollywood.
Acting,
yes.
modeling. Modeling was the beginning.
Yes.
And then I went into reality TV. And then I went into acting. I'm an entrepreneur. Now I have my podcast, Humble Brag, with my co-host
Crystal Minkoff from Real Housewives of Beverly Hills.
Yes, Crystal is from the Real Housewives of Beverly Hills. And what's so interesting, and we're going to go back to what you said. I just wanted to just say two things about Humble Brag. Crystal actually came to me with the opportunity. I really wasn't focused on doing a podcast. I honestly didn't think I had time to do it, to be honest with you. And she called me up and she was telling me she had this opportunity and she was doing it. And I was just like, that's great. Congratulations, whatever. And she was like, I just don't know if I'm going to do it by myself. And I'm thinking about having a co-host. I was like, yeah, well, everybody, girl, do your thing. And she's like, well, I was actually thinking about you being a co-host. And I was like, oh,
hey.
All right. Well, that wasn't on my bingo card today. So I thought about it and I thought about it and I thought about it. And we went back and forth about it. But something said, do it. There was a lot of things. It wasn't like an easy deal to do. There was just a lot of moving parts, but it was just one of those things I was like, I want to do it. It just felt right. And I never knew, I just thought it was something so interesting about a black woman and a Chinese lady sitting down together, chopping it up. And when I tell you, we are a beautiful disaster together. Two different cultures. Oh my God, two different upbringings, two different housewife franchises. I'm Atlanta. She's Beverly Hills. Both mothers. I'm older. I'm on the other side of menopause.
Mm-hmm.
She hasn't started it yet. We have a lot to talk about. We have great conversations. And I never knew that she's someone that I really my relationship with Crystal could have just been a working relationship because I have many of those. We do the work and she goes her way, I go mine. But it's actually, Humble Brag has actually brought us not only this amazing platform to have just fun conversations. We don't really get into anything too dark or too negative unless it's actually about our lives.
Right.
We'll talk about each other and drag each other, but we don't really we're a safe space for women and for people to come on our pod. But I didn't know that, we're friends. I didn't even know that. And I'm not really looking for a bunch of friends at this point in my life.
Come on.
They say quality is better than quantity.
Wait a minute.
Somebody said if you got a good 5, you good. And I'm right at that number. So
Oprah said all
okay.
you need is one.
Okay. and listen, I'm trying to tell you, Oprah knows what she's talking about. But I ended up getting a new friend that I didn't know I needed. And she's just been amazing. You know, she's just been a great sister to me. And I feel like that's all God, because I wasn't looking for a podcast with Crystal.
Right.
You know what I mean? It's like we didn't know this was going to happen. And it's been 4 months now. And we have a lot of great supporters. People love,
Wow.
you know, listening to us go on and on about anything and everything. A lot of times people ask me, what's the podcast about? And I'm like, child, I don't know what the podcast is about.
Whatever we talk about, it's almost
The
like
podcast
yeah.
is about the podcast. Whatever we
Yeah.
sit down, just like we're sitting here talking, we just talk. We just talk and we have fun conversations and we laugh with each other. We laugh at each other. We just, you know, we sit down and it's just a fun time for me to really just see what happens. Just go with the flow.
I think women have gotten away from that. And the fact that you said that you two ladies came together, right? Because, I mean, you're still within the same franchise.
Yes.
Serendipity found
Yes.
you. Good things that come knocking on your door.
Yes.
You're not even trying. You're just living your life.
I'm just over here minding my business.
Yes, minding your business.
Phone ring, I answer, be like, oh, okay, podcast, sure. And I think once going back to alignment, when you are where you're supposed to be and you're doing the things that serve you spiritually, mentally, emotionally, physically, all the things, and you're trying to operate from a place of love and abundance and fun and health and, you know, all the positive things that people should want in their lives. People should want. Yeah, because at the end of the day, you know, health is like, don't even get me started on that. I'm definitely a wellness advocate. Like, once the health goes, like people that, you know, once that happens to them, once their health fails them, if you ask them what is the most important thing that they wish they had done differently, is going to say,
live
be
well,
happy.
live better.
Been happier.
Yeah.
Made choices that made me happy, you know? So, yeah, things come to you. When you're where you're supposed to be and you're willing to do the work, because that's another thing. We live in a climate now where it feels like, especially with the social media era, that you don't have to work. I've been working my whole life since I was 16 years old, and I'm still working, and I'm always prepared to do the work, and I don't mind working because I want the things that I want, and I feel like in order for me to get them, I have to work for it.
Yeah.
But then God says, you know what? Now I'm going to give you something extra. Now I'm just going to, since you know the lessons, you are good with yourself. You're not interested in hurting anybody or trying to be in a dark space with anybody. You know, you're operating from a place of light and from a place of love. Now I'm just going to let a bunch of shit come your way.
Overflow, the abundance. Come on.
Come on, overflow.
Come
you
on.
already doing the work, but now I'm just going to open up the gates.
You
and
had it that way anyway.
Come on.
I may as well save
now
you
I'm
some
gonna
time.
help you out because
Listen.
you have done the work, Ms. Bailey. So now you're just gonna get the universe. I'm gonna let the universes bring some stuff to you as well. This is like what I call like bonuses, where you're like, okay, that's God saying, see, you're doing this. You know, you are a good mom. So now you get the bonus of this little blessing. And I don't take any of it for granted. Like, I look at everything, anytime something comes to me, anytime I'm given an opportunity, anytime I get to do a job that I love, I am like, thank you, God. It feels like the first time always. Like, I never take it for granted. I never feel like, oh, I'm Cynthia Bailey. I'm supposed to be getting all this stuff. I am literally showing up to work 30 minutes early to everything I get booked for till this day. So happy to be there. So humbled, so grateful, and just ready to do a good job.
Okay, Cynthia, this is so good. I'm sorry. Listen, you're ministering to my spirit.
Oh, thank you.
And we're talking about work. We're talking about collaboration. We're talking about just God placing you in places to win when you are true to who you are and your purpose, and how you didn't really have to hunt. People were knocking on your door.
Because you're not worried about what everybody else is doing. Let everybody else be great. You're just focused on the things that you're trying to do. And when you don't allow yourself to be distracted, because distractions.
Give us some examples.
Okay. You don't want to do. Okay. So for me, an example of being distracted is not focusing on what your goals are. Like, it's a new year still. we're in February now. Every year I write out my intentions. I write out the things that I want to achieve. And one of the intentions is not to be distracted by anything, because distractions can come in all forms. But I think one of the biggest examples I can give you is social media. It is very easy to wake up feeling good, feeling focused, ready to do the work, do your thing, and get on social media and start looking at somebody else's life. Whose life seems a little bit better than your life. And you're like, well, wait a minute. Okay.
Who's getting roles? Who's got booked? Who's the new cast?
Listen, that's not your stuff.
Preach.
That's not your stuff.
Girl.
It is not your stuff, you guys. Like, but we're all human. We all go down that path sometimes. We're like, oh, wow, so she's doing that. And wow, I wish I could be doing this, that, and the other. Oh, look at her. She's so happy. She has a great career, and she has love, and she has beautiful children, and she has a beautiful home, all of those things. But you have to look at, you don't know that woman's life. You don't know that person's life. You don't know what is going on in that person's world. All you know is what they're showing you. All you know is what they're showing you. And, for me, I feel like social media should just be a place of inspiration. Like, I go in and be like, oh, wow. Look at these quotes, and look, Oprah saying this and this is happening, whatever. And then even just information, because I get a lot of information off social media at this point, just even, find out what's going on in the world. But I love to see Black excellence. I love to see excellence in general. I love to see people that help other people. I love to see, stories about animals, like monkeys, whatever, playing with cats and squirrels, playing with tigers, whatever. Like, I just love and whatever that looks like. So yeah, distractions is, a distraction is anything that makes you lose focus on what you're trying to do. And you all of a sudden are, putting energy and focus into what someone else is doing. That is not your stuff. Stay focused, stay inspired, stay motivated, do the things that you need to do to stay inspired and motivated, because you don't wake up every day just, feeling like you're getting ready to change the world. Sometimes you need that extra motivation. And I look to social media for those things, like, okay, like a quote, I'm a big quote person. Too much is given, too much is required.
Were
Light
you raised
is a big
spiritually?
Like, I was raised in a church.
Okay, gotcha.
I was raised in a church. I had my Bible, still have my Bible. I read my Bible. I wasn't like overly spiritual. I really tapped more into my spirituality as I got older. And for me, that is like my religion. To, pray. I, pray before I go to sleep, pray when I wake up in the morning. I usually start my, when I wake up, not my will, God's will be done. Right? Not my will, God's will be done. And it's something about saying those words out loud that makes you able to understand fully if it's not God's will. Once you just put it in God's hands and you do the work, but God say, you know what, baby girl, I appreciate you doing the work, but this is just not for you. I know what's for you, and I know what's good for you. Then you can just let it go. You can just let it go. Like, that just wasn't for me. I was supposed to get this far, and it just wasn't supposed to be for me. So,
do you feel like women have a hard time letting go of what's not meant to? When we think about the song by Erykah Badu, Bag Lady, you gonna hurt your bag.
Woo.
Dragging all them bags.
Lord have
like
mercy. That. I think women put a lot on themselves. I think we just generationally, we're overdoers. And we are oftentimes, especially Black women, we are, in a lot of ways, not even by choice, leaders of the family. Yeah. There's so many single moms. My mom went through 2 divorces. I went through 2 divorces. I'm in a new relationship now. It's actually not even that new. It's like we're going on like 11 months. And with a gentleman from Amsterdam.
Okay.
We met just kind of like, there was like when I tell you God had to move the world and the planets and everything, the sun, everything for us to meet. And somehow we came together.
So the Netherlands is
Yeah, he's from the
Amsterdam, right?
Netherlands, correct. He is. So he
Yes.
is European,
Yes.
and I am American. So his first language is Dutch, and his
Nice.
English is he speaks good English. It's getting better and better. Um,
My
yeah.
husband's Puerto Rican.
Okay.
Yes.
Yes.
See, sometimes you got to go overseas to see.
Listen, I'm telling you. So yeah. I've always marriage for me. I've been down that road twice. It's not a deal breaker for me at this point. I don't know if I'll do it again. I won't say that I won't, but it's not something that I'm focused on. But love has always been a constant focus for me.
Yeah.
I've always wanted love. I don't think I'll never not want love. I don't think there's anything more fun than being in love. You
are loved, it radiates if you have to get around her. And I'm a Scorpio. Scorpios can be real sharp, come across as very indifferent, very difficult, but we're so raw. I don't know if Noelle comes across like that.
Yes.
Okay,
she
okay,
does.
okay. And she says what she means.
Oh, 1,000. Noelle is very
means what
direct.
yes.
She knows what she wants. She usually gets what she wants. And you guys, let me tell you something about a Scorpio. One thing about Noelle, if she's interested in something, if she wants to do something, if she's interested in it, I know it's going to happen. Oh. Like, she knows what she wants. And it's like, sometimes it's scary because I'm like, I'm your mom. Like, I feel like I should kind of know what you want. Like, I raised you, but like, I have to, I had to learn myself as Noelle's mom. And I'm glad you brought Noelle up because she's like my bestie for life. I am best friends with my daughter. We are friends. I didn't get to have like that kind of friendship with my mom. And I would have loved that. We're great friends now as we're older, but I would have loved that. So Noelle has, I have taught her a lot of things as her mother, but when I tell you she's taught me so much as my daughter.
Yeah.
We live in a very different time. I came up in a time where, we didn't have a voice,
at all.
Affection wasn't like something like we wouldn't run around hugging each other. Even the way I was disciplined is very different from anything that, she's ever had to deal with. So it's just two different worlds. And I had to learn to become Noelle's mother and not the mother that raised me. You know what I'm saying? Because the mother that raised me was raised by her mother. And then that lady was raised by her mother. So there was a lot of things back then that was okay or that we didn't talk about that we talk about now. And I can just go down the line. Like,
take your
times
time.
have changed. And with that, people have to change with the times. You have to meet people where they are. And Noelle has taught me how to love myself more. She forces me to take time for myself. Like, she is one of those people that will just book a weekend trip. And I'll be like, girl, I don't have time to go to no damn cabin. What are you doing? And she's like, you're going to make the time. Because you will never do this. You will never do this if I don't make you do it. You will never take time for yourself. When she's like, Mom, when are you not busy? Like, you're never going to have 3 days off unless you take it. So she has taught me balance. And she has taught me how to prioritize myself. And she's also taught me how to love her in a way that she wants to be loved. Because it's different. I wasn't raised that way, or, I didn't know.
She taught you her love language.
She did. She taught me her love language.
What's your love language?
Ooh, my love language is personal touch and quality time. When I clock in, and then I'm very present, and I'm very touchy-feely. I think I've high-fived you a few times already. I'm sure we hugged when I greeted you. I like to feel. I like to connect. Connection's very important to me. Noelle is affirmations. Like, I don't need
words
to
of affirmation.
Yes, like I am constantly telling her, I'm proud of you. I'm so proud of you. I love you so much. You're so smart. You're so beautiful. You're so kind, you know. Whereas I don't feel like I need to hear those things that much, but like she requires it. She's made it very clear to me. So, and you
Yeah.
just give people what they want. And she loves gifts. Gifts is a love language for her.
Yeah.
Like she's like, okay, I did something great. I don't get a present. Okay, I don't get some kind of reward. You know. So
Hmm.
I think it's great to be able to still have that connection with your children. We live in a world where, you know, these kids now will go no contact on our asses, child. They will cut their parents off and be like, "Oh, you're not good for my mental. I'm
Yeah,
not gonna be in the
yeah,
food with you no
yeah.
more." And we didn't know anything about
Mm-mm.
that coming up. No, I know I certainly didn't, and I can't think of anything more devastating to me than to lose my child that way, to lose that connection with her, or her to feel like we that I'm not there for her,
Yeah.
that she can't come to me. So we work on that, and we have some things that we're working on that I can't talk about, but I'll come back
Okay.
and talk to you when they happen.
I can't
because they're
wait.
going to happen, but there is something there with there's something that I share with Noelle that I feel like can be very inspirational and motivating to other mom daughters, mom sons,
Especially, we
whatever,
need it so bad
because
in the
we
Black
lack
community.
conversation.
Girl,
We
and
like, and therapy
love.
can't heal everything. Like, you got to connect with the people that you care about, and you know, everyone's on their phones. You know, there's not a lot of real connection. So I'll share this with you. She actually introduced. So one of the things that we do together, she sent me these like coloring books and these markers. So we'll get on the phone and we usually try to talk like an hour every day. And it's usually like around 9 o'clock at night when my world is a little quiet on
Mhm.
both coasts. And, you know, we have like the same books and, you know, I'll color, we'll, you know, be like, okay, let's do this one. It's always interesting to see. We're talking and we're just coloring and see like what she did and what I did. And I didn't realize like she's a creative as well. Like Leon and I definitely made her a creative child. So I'm getting
Mhm.
all that stuff is coming out with her now, like different things that she wants to do. She's 25 now, so we're having fun. That's my girl.
I'm just resting and basking in all of this goodness because we talked about the mind, we talked about the
Yes,
spirit.
yes,
I want to transition to the body because I
yes.
heard you say wellness is so important to
Mm-hmm.
you, and I know you're at a phase of life where women typically have challenges
Oh yeah,
aging well.
menopause, girl.
Girl, menopause,
I've
hot
been through
flashes,
fibroids,
fibroids.
menopause. I'm
Cynthia,
still
we
in
got to talk about it.
a brand ambassador with USA Fibroid Center. Um,
Okay.
because I don't suffer with I don't suffer with fibroids anymore.
Okay.
But I still feel like I need to keep that conversation going because so many women do, especially African American women.
How did you manage to get rid of them or overcome that challenge?
Well, once I realized, once I got all the information and understood what was happening to my body and what fibroids were, I went to a doctor and I talked about my options. And it's interesting because when I would complain about the different discomfort, the different symptoms that I was experiencing when I was dealing with fibroids, everything from like I'm having a brain fart right now. What is it when you anemia? Anemic. I was anemic. I
Mhm.
was like so many different things. And it was all due to these fibroids, which I don't
Okay.
suffer from any of that anymore because now I'm on the other side. But I did have this procedure called UFE, uterine fibroid embolization. And what that
Okay.
basically does, if you qualify for it, everyone's circumstances is different. So for me, I was able to have UFE. And basically basically if you could just think in your mind like here's the fibroid and here are the like blood vessels, right? And once you stop clog up those blood vessels, the blood, when that blood supply doesn't go to the fibroid, it can no longer grow anymore because you're not feeding it anymore, and then it just shrinks and then eventually goes away.
Oh, I gotcha.
Yeah. So they basically stop the blood flow to the actual fibroid. And I think the biggest one I had was like probably the size of a grapefruit. I always had this
Yeah.
bulging belly, and I was always on the baby bump celebrity, like, oh, she must be pregnant. But it was like fibroids for a long time. And I'm now on the other side of that. And then here comes menopause, which, everything as you get older, everything just sits here unless you're like, working out and, unless you have a healthy lifestyle, like you can kind of struggle in that. Like my struggle area, I'm not going to put everybody else in it, was definitely my midsection. And I ended up, I just want to talk about it at the time. Like, I feel like I love that so many women are talking about menopause now. Nobody was really talking about fibroids when I talked about it on the show. I talked about it on the Real Housewives of Atlanta. And half of the cast had fibroids, but they were like, girl, nobody trying to talk about that. Like, because it was
Is it because they're chasing youth, you think?
Well, I think a lot of women do chase youth, but I think at the time it's like, fibroids wasn't anything sexy to talk about. No. It wasn't anything that women was like, a lot of women didn't feel comfortable. It was like a very personal, private thing too. They didn't want to talk about that. And, you got to talk about, like, with fibroids comes, like, your menstrual cycles, and heavy flowing. I was like bleeding all over the place. I mean, it was just a lot of stuff that, everyone wasn't comfortable to talk about. So I talked about it. And I'm glad I talked about it because I helped a lot of people talk about it and get the help that they need, and they felt comfortable. I was having those conversations with my ex, Peter, when I was going through it. Okay. And that made the women feel comfortable talking to their husbands about it. So that's one of the things I'm very proud that I shared on the show. And just getting back to menopause, we have to stop as people. We just have to stop making people feel like getting older is a bad thing. Getting older is a beautiful thing.
I agree.
It's a beautiful thing. Everybody don't get to see 30. Everybody don't get to see 40, 50. Like, I'm closer to 60 than I am to 50 at this point. And that's...
It can run circles around. A good 25, baby. Come on, let's talk about it.
And I own every day of it.
Yeah.
I've had an incredible life.
Yeah.
When I tell you, I have had an incredible life. God has blessed me. I have done the work. I have an opportunity to still work, doing things that make money, doing things that I enjoy, And I don't think there's two things I said I wanted when I got older. I wanted to be in a position where I could have a job that I can make money doing something that I love, whether it's like, opening up my school again, the Bailey Agency School of Fashion. Or if
it's
like
the Bailey Agency, right?
Yes.
Yes.
Or, acting. Like, all of these things are things that I enjoy doing. And then the other part of that, part two, was being able to make money or have a career or spend some portion of my life doing something that helped other people. Whether it's like, my mom is like really up there now. I worry a lot about older people. Like, we live in a world of technology. Yeah, my mom is always messing up her phone, trying to figure out how to do this, that, and the other. Like, I would love to be a part of something where we could put together centers to, like, just help them, like, okay, this is how you use the phone. You know what I mean? This is how you go on this. This is how you can pay your bills online. Yeah. They're just not from that era. And it's a very lonely feeling when you just don't know how to do things because you've just aged out of an era. You know what I'm saying? And I worry about things like that. I worry about that. And that's something that I want to eventually, as I get older myself and join that community, it's not guaranteed you're going to have somebody to be there with you that's going to get old with you. Some of these people are getting old by themselves.
Yeah.
And I'm a Pisces girl, I'm an empath, so I be worried about all kind of stuff. I'm like, what these old people do? How are they able to navigate, even putting their security system on, to even make sure they're safe in their homes? Like, because all of that, you need somebody to walk you through.
But you know what? I think technology it's not the fact that it's a challenge of technology. It's the fact that, damn, once I learn it, there's something
else. Then they change it up.
Yeah.
Like, literally, I'll go to sleep. And then my phone will do an update. I'll wake up and I'm like, what is
all your damn photos and move? Wait a minute. Who told you?
I just figured out the last update. Now y'all done took me somewhere else.
Who told you to put my photos over there? Put my shit
back.
Whose
phone is this?
You be like the latest update with Apple. And
yes, that's what I'm saying.
It's almost like
now imagine you're in your 70s, 80s. You're like, now what do we do? Like, I just figured out how to figure out my code at this point to even unlock the phone. So
I have a background in healthcare, and One of the things that we discovered years ago that technology is the new SDOH, social determinant of health. A lot of people don't know that. We didn't say
that's
that
so
outwardly
interesting.
from a producting. So that's going to be the downfall of different communities.
Yeah.
The advancement of technology is so rapid.
Yeah.
It's so fast. It's going to leave a lot of people behind.
No, it's so true. Like even like my mom, you know, if she's driving to my house, I'm always like, put in your navigation.
Yeah.
Make sure you got it in there. Make sure that she's like, well, I thought I had it on. Like, I can't even tell you, like, you know, like, I don't want to put it out there, but like, she's gotten lost a couple of times. But like, I worry about things like that. And we think, like, you know, you just put it in there, but they get confused.
Yeah.
You know, they're just not as sharp as they used to be.
End up somewhere way down the road.
You know what I'm saying? I'm like, you know, I got a tracker on her. I have a tracker on my mom. Just not to be in her business. I just need to make sure she's making it from point A to point B. Yeah. I mean, I even have I have a tracker on Noelle because she's out in California. Oh yeah, she knows. Okay,
okay,
and she's like, well, if you don't have one on me, I get to have one on you. I'm like, you please track me.
Yeah.
Like I want you to know where I'm at. So, and that's just, you know, Noelle's, you know, she's on the West Coast by herself.
Yeah.
Leon lives on the East Coast. I live on the East Coast, and God forbid anything happens, you know, we want to be able to find her.
Is this East Coast?
This is East Coast, yeah.
Oh, okay.
Yeah, and LA's the West Coast.
Okay, gotcha.
Yes.
I thought it was the South.
Yeah, well, it is the South, but like
the time zone.
Know, absolutely.
Gotcha.
Yeah.
Okay. Listen, I want to talk about one more thing.
Okay.
Those beautiful bags that you have. Y'all take a look.
So, CB Voer. Let's talk about CB Voer. I started that bag line with my partner Cal Williams, and CB Voer came about because I just liked, you know, having my own stuff. Okay. You know, as an entrepreneur, I thought, you know what, a bag line would be cool. You know, we always, you know, carry bags. Now men carry bags. It is a unisex line. It is
interesting.
Urban luxury. The price points are really good, but just like very stylish, very simple. My aesthetic is just, I like to keep things simple. I don't really like I don't like to overdo it. But CB Bar, yes, that is my bag line, and I've had that line for probably about 5 years now, 5 or 6 years now. Okay, and it's doing well. We just did a partnership with Amazon, and we do hope to just, you know, be in some of the bigger retail stores soon.
So we can find it on Amazon, correct?
Right now you can't, because it's done. We're done with that now. But you can find it on cbviour.com.
Okay. All right. You heard that. It's a great price point for everyday people. Yes. You said it's unisex. It's very neutral.
It is. It is. And you know what I love? We have a clear bag too, which is great. You know, we're in the South, like you said, so everybody's into like sports and games and stuff. So like concerts and all those places that we say we don't feel comfortable going anywhere because we don't like crowds. But for the people that do, that need a clear, cute bag, honey, go to cbviour.com and check out our bags. We have these really cute crossbody bags that are approved for those types of events where you can't take regular bags and you need to be able to have a see-through bag. So we have some cute ones, so check it out.
Yes, I'm going to get me one, and I have something for you at the end, because when you're talking about resting and just kind of, you didn't use the word you're feminine, but I think that's where you are. I think you've been able to. I never thought God meant for women to hustle that hard, and how it. One thing I'm taking away from your conversation today is that when we default to our divine feminine, there's so much there to tap into.
Oh my God, I'm so glad you said that. And I think that's one of the things that I like about my new relationship. He allows me to be in my feminine energy. Yeah.
Do you think it's because he's foreign and not American?
I don't really know what it is. I just think that he's my person. Okay. And I think he gets me. We're not perfect.
Gotcha.
But he definitely fills the boxes of what's important to me at this point in my life. Because like I say, as I get older, you know, when you reach a certain age and you have success and you're used to doing things by yourself, it's very easy to be okay being by yourself.
Yeah.
Having a man is a bonus at this point. It's not going to stop nothing if I don't have one.
Right.
I just get to have somebody to share all this stuff with.
Yeah.
You know what I'm saying? I'm the same person that I am with a man and without one. I'm still driven. I still have my goals. I still, need to take care of myself. It's a bonus. Just somebody to share it with, which is a beautiful thing. But the party's going. The party going to happen with or without. So, but it's a beautiful thing when you find your person. And
I think a lot of people have underestimated you and your strength.
Oh, absolutely.
And how quick.
Oh, that's
50
my
Cent.
that's my superpower.
Oh.
People always underestimate me.
Oh, because you said the party gonna happen.
Oh, the train
Listen.
is always moving. It's just a matter. You need to decide if you want to be on it with me.
Come on, you better pop your You better pop.
Because we're going. We're going. Okay, I'm going. I'm headed to my destination. Now the question is, are you coming with me? Are you going to watch me pass by on the train?
Yes,
or are you going to be on
going.
it? Oh yeah, absolutely.
You are a ball of love,
Thank
and you
you.
deserve every ounce of it. And I listen. You are love.
Thank you.
You deserve it because you give it. You exude it. It's never
Thank you.
changed. It's always been very, very streamlined from the moment I saw you on that television screen. The fact that you are here right now is exuding. The first phone call I had with you, it came through. Normally I'm love, but you're more lovely than me. and I'm taking
Thank
away
you.
a level of softness from you, that it's okay to be a little bit more gentle,
Yeah.
a little bit more trusting.
Yes.
You are all that. And I think that no matter what, you're going to be okay. That's what I'm getting for the rest of your life.
I'm going to be okay because I have decided that I'm going to be okay. By the grace of God, I'm going to be okay. And I think that I don't have any interest in beating myself up, putting all this pressure on myself, overthinking stuff. Like, I love when people say they're in their soft era. I'm not quite in my soft era because I still have a lot to do.
Okay.
But I'm close to it. I'm definitely close to it. And I think what you are seeing is just someone who has just decided to just focus on themselves. I'm focused on Cynthia. I'm in my Cynthia era. That's what I'm in. I'm in my Cynthia Denise Bailey era, honey. That's where I'm at.
That's my middle name too.
It is. Let's see.
Mm-hmm.
Alignment.
Yes.
Okay. This is not a mistake that I'm here.
Yeah.
And that feels good because I think that's intentional.
Mm-hmm.
You have to be very intentional about what you want. And I know that no one's going to take care of me better than me.
Yeah.
So I'm doing that. And I'm not afraid to, I don't feel bad about it. Like I own it. I love me.
Yeah.
I'm proud of me. I never knew I could do all the things that I've been able to do. And I'm very proud of me because it wasn't easy to get to where I'm at. And there's still so much more I want to do.
Please continue to embrace it.
And I want to have fun doing it. I want to laugh. I want a good time. I want to help folks. I want to help myself. I want my child to be good. I want to be happy with this new man. I want my family and loved ones, everybody is rooting for me. Please. I'm rooting for you guys back. And I want peace. I wish the world could just be in a better place of peace. And that worries me. Again, empath. I think about a lot. But I know I can't worry about the things that I can't control. So I just try to put the energy into the few people's lives that I can make a better place. I just keep going. I just get up every morning.
Doing a phenomenal job. I'm telling you.
And I just keep on going. And if people don't understand it, it's okay to be misunderstood.
Yeah.
It's okay if people don't get it. As long as I get it. And as long as I have peace and I have happiness. And I'm not trying to hurt anybody.
Yeah. As we wrap up the interview, there are women tuned in that are probably glued to the camera, listening to everything that you're saying. If you could tell them, what you just said was so phenomenal. I'm okay with me.
Yeah.
It doesn't matter who likes it, who doesn't like it. What is the recipe for success as it relates to thine own self? Be true.
Peace, inner peace, self-love. You can't help anyone until you help yourself. You can't love anyone if you don't love yourself. Self-love is very, very important. You put some of that energy into you. Pour into yourself. Pour into yourself. And I used to feel so uncomfortable saying stuff like that because I felt like I was being selfish.
Really?
To pour into myself or to focus too much on myself. But not anymore. Help yourself. Love yourself. And, believe in yourself and believe in God, and try to lead with light, try to lead with love, and try to lead with grace, and stay positive. Energy's everything. So try to be positive.
Yeah.
But be clear with what you want and be intentional, and don't be distracted.
I received that. I received that. I thought I was coming to do work, but baby, you poured a word into me. Pastor Cynthia Bailey, everybody.
Okay.
Listen, Cynthia, it has been a pleasure.
The pleasure has been mine.
Wow. And there you have it. So thank you, everybody, for tuning in. The lovely Cynthia Bailey. And you can find her on Instagram, Cynthia Bailey.
Yes.
And we look forward to more projects.
Yes.
We look forward to seeing you on the screen.
A lot going on. Make sure you guys check out my podcast with my girl Crystal, Humble Brag, and, all the things. I appreciate, the follows, the likes, the love, the comments. I've done a lot, but I got a lot more to do. So love you and appreciate you. And stay safe and stay blessed.
Yeah. All right. Thank you, everybody. Bye-bye.
Right.